Hi, 1 and 2-year-old leaders. We're preparing for June 13th in our series called Unashamed. This series is a church-wide series. Why are we doing a church-wide series? Because we think it is that important. Does that mean everything else we do is not important? Absolutely not. But when everybody was looking at this series, it just was perfect timing to align and everybody learn the exact same stories from the Bible on the exact same day, because as a believer in Jesus, our responsibility, every single one of us, not the church's responsibility, not your mom and dad's responsibility, not anybody else's responsibility, but yours, is to share the good news of the gospel. Why is that so important? Well, have you ever received a gift that you really wanted to tell everybody about? This is the best gift you've ever received, and why wouldn't you want to tell people about that? Why would you be ashamed of that? And so in this series, that is what we are doing. We're learning from the writings of Paul and Acts and Romans, and moving on as the church continues to form and Paul continues to encourage the churches that are experiencing great persecution. Have you experienced great persecution? Then this is for you. Today, our lesson in particular is equipping every single person, babies through the oldest person who's a part of Parkway Church, to know a way, an easy way to share the gospel. And you're going to get the chance to do that with your group of kids today as well, in an age-appropriate way. Before we get there, though, let me share some things with you that you will find in your buckets of things to do. We have we finally got to bring Play-Doh back, and so you have Play-Doh in your room. You can use that and play with that and have fun interacting with kids, doing some things we haven't been able to do in a little while. And you should also play this really fun game. It's called Animal Action Cards, and what you're supposed to do is you can get the kids to draw a card, or you can just pick up the card and show the kids, well, if I can get the box open, show the kids one of the cards. And so they're supposed to act this out, fly like a bird. And you could use it as a competition if you wanted to. You could also use it as a way for kids to pay attention to other kids. Remember, you have little kids, and it is important for them to understand that there are other people around them. I know that they're really good at parallel play right now, but you know how they get better at not parallel playing? It's for us to point out all of the things around them that don't just have to do with them. And so this would be a fun game for you to be able to do that with your kids. And feel free to do that as long as you can. If you wanted to add background music, you could do that as well using your Roku channel. And then you have 2 activities. Why do you have 2 activities? Christy, you're overwhelming me. 2 activities because many of our groups are really large, and you have extra helpers in your room. Most of you have teenage helpers in your room, and we wanted to give them something that they could lead on their own. And most of the time, this activity requires very little skill or very few supplies to make it happen. If you don't have that teenager in your room and you don't want to give them a small group to go and do this activity with, then you can do these activities as well. But we want to make sure that we are doing everything to help kids know how to interact in small groups. And by having smaller groups, we get that opportunity to show them how to interact in small groups, how to have conversation, how to listen to somebody else when they're talking, how to take turns, how to love on each other and pray for each other, and all of those amazing things that happen in small group. We want to start setting the tone for that. So that's why you have 2 activities. You could run them at the exact same time, you take and do one of the activities that you feel like might require more skill or that you would be really good at doing, and give one of the other leaders in your room the opportunity to do the other, and then you guys can switch and the kids can move and do the other activity, or you can move to the kids and do the other activity. So your first one, you're going to have a piece of paper that looks like this, and what you're going to do is fold it in half down the middle, and then the front page should say good news, like this. And so you're going to fold it in half again. And so this is a book for the kids, and they can color it, and then make sure that you read it with them. Good news. Adam and Eve did not obey God, so all people did not obey God. Jesus always obeyed God. Jesus died on the cross to rescue us. And then on the back page, Jesus saves everyone who trusts in him. That is good news. What did I tell you at the beginning of the video? We are equipping and showing kids words they can use. I know you have little babies, but if we make all of this language so normal for them by talking about it, then they're not going to think anything different when it comes time for them to share the good news with somebody else, right? So don't skip this part. Don't skip sharing the opportunity for them to understand this language. For one, understanding this language is going to help them believe. And then for two, if it's going to become so normal that this is what we talk about, that they're going to share that with everybody they talk to. And then your other activity is just a fun little activity. You have an inflatable globe, so feel free to blow that up. And what you're going to do is just kind of explore the globe and see where different people are. If your kids are used to having my daughter, Rebecca, in their group, you can point out where Rebecca is right now. Rebecca is right here in this country of Tanzania. And so you can show how far away that is from Texas. And then you could also, if you wanted to share some other missionaries we know, my sister is right here in Romania, and Bonnie and Rick are in Ukraine, which should be right around there. Yes, right there, that pink country right next to Romania. And so those are some missionaries we know that are on the ground. We also know some missionaries that are on the ground in this area. So point out how God has people all around the world sharing his good news. And what you can do is use the stickers. You should have stickers in here. Heart stickers. Well, you're supposed to have heart stickers. And what you're supposed to do is put a heart sticker on those places that you want to pray for the people that are sharing the good news. All right. And so that is your activities. You have some coloring pages as well. You can do that with the kiddos. And definitely pray with them. Watch your video on Roku. I love you guys, and I am so thankful that you love our littlest kids so much that you want to share the gospel with them. Have a great week.